Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, just sort of following the story that's been developing. The incident took place around 2:30 German time, as I understand it, and it's now about 6:30, I think, German time. So about 4 hours ago. No, I'm sorry. It's now 8:30, so 6 hours ago. And it's still relatively new. It's about the car that plowed into a crowd during a day of celebration, where there's a number of different parades and carnivals celebrating um, something that's called Rose Day, I believe. I'm not familiar with it. I had to look it up. Shrove Monday, sometimes known as Calliope Monday, Rose Monday, Mary Monday. Um, and so far there are no fatalities, but it sounds like it was a horrific incident where the reports are that a silver Mercedes basically, I think witnesses reported that it accelerated into the crowd. I mean, initially, I think as this story was developing, people were debating whether it was an accident or if it was intentional. It seems as though the authorities they've arrested an individual, a 29-year-old male, whose identity has not been released, but and most reports indicate that the police are operating under the assumption that this was some kind of an attack and was intentional. They're calling it a homicide at the BBC over here. That's probably quoting the New York Daily News. We are working on the assumption that it was a deliberate act, Hinn told reporters shortly after the incident. That's the spokesman for the police. Police were still investigating the crash as an intentional act, or whether the driver suffered a medical issue or a mechanical problem. But all carnival events in the state of Hesse were canceled as a precaution. But like I said, they are as I best understand that they're operating that it was intentional, and that identity of that individual hasn't been revealed. Based on just looking at some of the reporting on it and some of the people weighing in, like over here on Twitter, I noticed that this person, Kate Hopkins, she seems to have jumped on it. That just, I have a feeling that this is going to be, I'm familiar with her. Everyone knows her, that she's a far right sort of anti-immigration type person in Britain, politics, personality, whatever. She's on Fox News sometimes. So, and that's not necessarily conclusive just because she's weighing in on it. However, it's that the holiday that's being celebrated today is a Christian holiday. I mean, that's how it's described in this Wikipedia page. I'll go to it in a second. Rose Monday, whichever the BBC they call it. I'm sort of jumping all over the place. The incident took place during celebrations for Rosenmontag, or Rose Monday, a carnival day celebrated in some parts of Germany, Austria, Belgium, and Switzerland. Schools are often closed for the day, although it is not a national holiday in Germany. Where the incident took place is the town is Volkmarsen in the state of Hesse, Germany, which is it's a fair distance from the other incident that took place. Was it last week, where the far right guy went to the two different hookah bars and ended up shooting and killing 9 people, and then he ended up going home and shooting himself and his mother. So this is the town right there. Frankfurt is in here somewhere. There's Frankfurt, and It was Hanau. Was where it was, and that was just like 15 miles east of Frankfurt where that occurred. I mean, essentially, it seems, and there's been nobody, everyone's reluctant to say this. It seems like this might be retaliation for that incident, and those were all Turkish people and Kurdish people that were at the two hookah bars, to the best of my knowledge. Most of them, and it very well may end up turning out that this is just flip-flopped, and that this driver is probably going to be of some nationality that is on the other side of that, and seems like in retribution to that. That's what it seems like at first glance. And the authorities are telling people, don't spread rumors. don't speculate and stuff like that. But I mean, just doing some of the some glancing over various reports. It's kind of the gist I'm getting of it. There's in this New York Daily News article, it says several dozen pedestrians were hurt, including children. And that some of the injuries were life-threatening. Very serious injuries. I mean, it sounds as though, after witnesses, I think, described after the incident took place, that there were several people lying on the ground being attended to by emergency personnel and so forth. And there's various pictures and videos of it. Like here's this is the main one that seems to be circulating quite a bit. That's basically the aftermath. That's the car. I mean, that is the car that where that the driver was driving during the attack. If you want to call it attack, and it sounds like it was. I mean, that looks like a wagon that probably children were in that area. I just don't know yet. We don't have any numbers in terms of number of children and injuries, but it just sounds like it's pretty serious. I mean, this video here from the Sun, I mean, I started to get an indication when one of the bystanders who's there in the aftermath, basically, I think, sort of flips off the reporter or the cameraman and says something in German that I don't know what he says, but I mean, these are just all these little things, which is pointing me to, I think this is retaliation for that hookah bar incident that happened in Hanau, Germany, east of Frankfurt last week, where 9 people were killed, including and also the gunman and his mother, which would make it 11. And this right here. Saying, there's various pieces of footage of the aftermath. You're talking 30 people, including children, with serious, some life-threatening injuries. It's probably going to turn out to be pretty bad. And so that's what it seems like. What we're looking at, that holiday. If I could just to quickly go over it, and then just go over the BBC and just give you a summary of what happened, how they described the incident. Right there, it just says Shrove Monday, sometimes known as Calliope Monday, Rose Monday, Mary Monday, or Hall Monday, is a Christian observance falling on the Monday before Ash Wednesday every year as part of the English tradition. Shrovetide celebrations of the week before Lent. The Monday precedes Shrove Tuesday. It's a religious holiday of sort of like Anglo-Saxon heritage. Believe me, the significance of that, the fact that the attack was during a parade celebrating that, it just can't be, it can't be lost. There's obviously a significance to that, and I'd be shocked if this wasn't retribution for the somebody that was angered by the attacks on the 2 hookah bars. So a 29-year-old male has been arrested, and there were reports that he ran from the vehicle. Or at least I saw people on Twitter saying, when they were still debating whether or not it was an accident or intentional, early on when the incident was being reported, people in the Twitter replies were saying, that he ran from the vehicle, and sort of indicating that it was intentional. So a car has been driven into a crowd at a carnival parade in the western German town of Volkmarsen. Police said about 30 people, including children, were injured, some seriously. A 29-year-old German citizen was arrested on suspicion of attempted homicide. Officials said a motive was currently unclear. Authorities in the state of Hesse, where Volkmarsen is located, canceled all carnival parades as a precaution following the incident. What happened in Volkmarsen? The incident took place during celebrations for Rosenmontag, or Rose Monday, a carnival day celebrated in some parts of Germany, Austria, Belgium, and Switzerland. Schools are often closed for the day, although it is not a national holiday in Germany. Local media reports that a silver Mercedes drove through plastic barricades set up for the parade and into a group of people. Police said the incident occurred at about 15:45, which would be like 2:45, I think, local time. So eyewitnesses quoted the German media in the German media say the driver accelerated towards the crowd and appeared to target children. Jeez. German news website HNA cited witnesses as saying a man drove at full throttle into the crowd. Images on social media show a car matching the description, surrounded by emergency vehicles. That's the car right there, the silver Mercedes. Police said they believed it was an attack, but there was no indication of a political motive, according to German newspaper Bild. In a statement, the prosecutor's office in Frankfurt said the suspect was receiving medical treatment, but would later be brought before an investigating judge. Medical treatment for the incident, not necessarily because of like mental illness or whatever. And they believe it was attack, but that there was no indication of a political motive. It's tough to separate those two, and that's just reality, What has the reaction been? Police have set up a portal for people to submit pictures or videos of the incident. I looked online because many times, I looked on Twitter, which is usually where you go, or I go, to find video of these things. And a lot of times these types of incidents, because everyone's celebrating, everyone's there with their families, they have their phones out, they're filming their kids and stuff. So a lot of times there's footage of it, and I guarantee you there is. But I didn't see any on Twitter, but they've gotten faster and faster of, at removing these things quick. Police have set up a portal for people to submit pictures or videos of the incident. They have also created an information center for anyone affected at the town hall. Hesse state leader Volker Bouffier said he was shocked by the incident, which had left many innocent people seriously injured. In a statement, he shared his condolences with the victims and their families, while urging people not to speculate about possible motives. And that's pretty much, that's the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I will see you in the next video. Later, man.